Shocking information coming out this morning that could serve as a possible motivation behind the Boston terror suspects' actions. Officials are investigating possible links to extremist Islamic preacher Fayez Mohammed and connections to Boston mosques that are currently under scrutiny. So here to explain all of this is Dr. Charles Jacobs. He's the president of Americans for Peace and Tolerance. Dr. Jacobs, thanks so much for being here. You have spent 10 years looking into the Islamic Society of Boston. It is a mosque. It has two different locations, one in Cambridge, one in Boston. What can you tell us about this mosque?
Well, the one that's in Cambridge was the first Islamic Society of Boston mosque. Is right around the corner or 2 or 3 blocks away from the Chechen terrorists where they lived. And for 10 years, my group has been warning Boston officials, the media, religious leaders, and politicians that this is a radical mosque that specializes in radicalizing people. The mosque around the corner from the Chechens was founded by Abdul Rahman Alamudi, who is now in jail for 23 years for raising money for Al-Qaeda. He's a supporter of Hamas and Hezbollah. The first trustee of the mosque is Yusuf Qaradawi, who is spiritual head of the Muslim Brotherhood. And you can see, people can see, they can Google him on film, on YouTube, saying Muslims must kill homosexuals, they must slaughter Jews, and they must take over the world for Islam.
So if the brothers attended this mosque, and there is some evidence that at least the older brother did go to this mosque, what sorts of things would he have heard?
Well, we don't know what you would hear inside the mosque, but we do know that at the mosque there was found hateful literature. They had in their library the foundational texts of Islamic Jihad. They've had radical preachers going there. When they built the mosque, and they had on their website, How to Beat Your Wife. They took it down when we exposed it, but we have a copy if you'd like to learn that. When they decided to build the large mosque in Boston, in downtown Boston, which eventually cost $16 million and was subsidized by the city of Boston.
Why was it subsidized by the city of Boston?
That's a long story. The city of Boston had somebody inside the Boston Redevelopment Authority who was also connected to the mosque, and the deal was made. The land was worth about $2 million, and they sold it to them for about $200,000. And
they justified it by saying it would be a community center.
They didn't justify. Well, they said it would be a community center, right?
Tell us more about the imam at the Islamic Society of Boston. What's he like?
The imam, the current imam, his name is Suhaib Webb. He's the imam of the large building. It's the largest mosque in New England. It might even be bigger than the one that you have in Manhattan, Saudi funded. Here's a man who is virulently homophobic, and he promotes a Muslim Brotherhood curriculum designed to radicalize Muslim youths. This is all about the radicalization of the historically moderate Muslim community in America. Most Muslims are peace-loving people. They would hate what happened in Boston. The problem is their leadership, and the problem is our leaders who refuse to deal with reality.
Okay, so as someone who has studied this for 10 years and tried to raise the warning signs about what's going on, what should we all be doing?
Well, we should get rid of political correctness because it may be our suicide belt. We should ask the real question: who are the people who are heading the mosques? 80% of the mosques in America, according to congressional testimony, are led by radicals. Saudi money comes in, Iranian money comes in, and the normal people who have been moderate Muslims all of a sudden find themselves under the leadership, whether they want to or not, of radical preachers teaching hate. At this mosque, there were people saying Christianity is filth, you have to kill Jews, horrible things. So we don't know if the Chechens were radicalized there, but it was right around the corner.
Got it. Dr. Charles Jacobs, thanks so much for sharing all of your research with us.
Thank you.